Hi students, I hope all of you are doing well. So in this video, I have planned to complete the topic scheduling in Unix operating system. So basically Unix is a time sharing system. So in case of Unix operating system, at any moment of time, we are going to find three different types of processes. They are kernel non-interruptible mode, kernel interruptible mode, and user mode processes. So generally we'll have two types of processes, user mode process and kernel mode process. But however, in case of Unix operating system, again we'll have kernel non-interruptible mode and kernel interruptible mode. The idea is that the processes which hold large number of resources are very critical resources. They are kept in kernel non-interruptible mode, and the processes which hold less number of resources, they are kept in kernel interruptible mode. Here, the kernel non-interruptible mode processes, they enjoy highest priority and the lowest priority is given to user mode processes. The reason is that once the kernel non-interruptible mode processes, they complete their execution, they are going to release large number of resources. On the other hand, the processes which hold less number of resources, they are kept in kernel interruptible mode. Okay. So like that, the kernel non-interruptible mode processes, they have highest priority. Kernel interruptible mode, they enjoy second highest priority, and the user mode processes, they will have lowest priority. So basically, as you know, Unix is time sharing operating system, and here all the processes, they are executed with equal priority. One of the main goal of Unix operating system is to provide fair service to all of its users. So in Unix operating system, no doubt all the processes, they are executed with same priority, but however, to provide fair service to the processes, the operating system will go on changing the priority of the process. So basically, there are two reasons for which Unix operating system will change the priority. The first reason is in case when the process is blocked, depending on the reason of blocking, the Unix operating system is going to change its priority. And one more reason for changing priority of the process is for IO bound processes. So if you remember IO bound processes, they will have large number of input output operations as compared to CPU operations. Due to this reason, the IO bound processes, they may not utilize the complete time slice. Say for example, in case if the time slice is 2 milliseconds, the CPU bound processes, they will utilize the CPU for completely 2 milliseconds of time. But however, the IO bound processes, they fail to utilize the complete 2 milliseconds of time. The IO bound processes, they may not utilize the complete time slice. They may require input output operations before they complete their time slice. Hence, in the Unix operating system, the priority is computed as the function of CPU time used. Of course, all the processes, they will have base priority, but again, depending on the CPU time utilized by the process, the priority of the process is going to change. The process priority is computed by using this equation, using this particular equation. It is base priority of the process plus function of CPU time used. So remember students, if the priority number is low, so basically priority, it will be an integer value, right? So lowest number indicates highest priority and vice versa. There will be some base priority as the CPU time utilized by the process increases, the priority of that process decreases. I think you are understanding this equation. For CPU bound processes, the CPU time utilized will be more, their priority is decreased, and for IO bound processes, CPU time utilized will be less. So their priority is increased. The Unix operating system want to see that both IO bound and CPU bound processes, they should get equal amount of CPU time. So to do so, the priority is computed by using this particular equation. And the Unix operating system, it provides one more interesting feature. It also provides a nice system call. It provides a system call that is something like a function called nice, by using which the user will be able to change the priority of the process. The method for using nice system call is, you have to write nice, in bracket you have to specify some priority value. Again, you can specify some number here within the bracket followed by this nice system call. But when you use nice system call, in that case, again the process priority is computed by using this particular equation. The process priority becomes base priority for the process plus function of CPU time used, as you have seen in the last equation, plus the nice value, that is whatever the numerical value we specify along with nice system call, that will be added with process priority. Students, can you imagine what will happen when the nice value is added with this priority of the process? Whatever the number you use within the nice system call will be added with the priority. That is, the number associated with that process priority will be increased. In other words, the priority of that process is decreased, right? The idea is that, again, the operating system is going to change the priority, and even user can also change the priority, but user cannot increase the priority of the process. User can decrease the priority of the process, because when the user specifies the priority value, that value will be added along with the process based priority. When the value is added, automatically the priority of that process is going to decrease. Okay. And in the Unix operating system, we use one more new concept called fair share scheduling. So in many of the scheduling policies, the assumption is that each user is going to submit only one process. That is, the assumption is that each of the user will have only one program. But many of the times, this may not be the case. A user might be having 10 processes, and other users might be having, each may be having one process, right? A single user may be having 10 processes, and other users might be having one process, right? In that case, the user who is having more number of processes, he will get more CPU time, right? But that should not happen. The goal of the Unix operating system is to see that each user should get equal amount of CPU time irrespective of number of processes he has submitted, right? To do so, the processes belonging to a single user, they are considered as a group. The processes belonging to a single user, they are considered as a group. And while calculating the process priority, it is computed as base priority plus function of CPU time utilized by that process plus function of CPU time utilized by that process group. The idea is that if any one of the process belonging to a user having multiple process has utilized the time, automatically that process priority is reduced. The idea is that all the users, they must get equal amount of CPU time irrespective of how many processes he is submitted. Irrespective of how many processes he or she has submitted, all the users, they must get equal amount of CPU time. To implement that, the Unix employs this methodology called fair share scheduling. I hope you have understood the concept. Okay, students, I'm going to stop here itself. Thank you.